information, sometimes which is coming from everybody. It's, you know, no one has a monopoly on it. Or just power.
You're saying nobody
it's just
has a monopoly on it. Come on. That's some moral relativism right there.
I said nobody has a monopoly.
You said nobody has a monopoly on it, but that's like saying nobody has a monopoly on being a billionaire. He's got that monopoly up here. I mean, he's got more money than us. A lot more money than us. So,
I don't get the...
You don't get it?
I don't know what point you're making. The right thinks that the left is in a very different place with free speech than they have been before, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. This is arrogant. You don't punish somebody. It would be like if we stopped Henry Ford from making the...
The progressive left acts as if the presidency is their personal inheritance, a prize passed down by default, rather than something earned through the will of voters. The mere mention of Trump's name sends them into a frenzy, what critics often describe as full-blown Trump derangement syndrome. The hysteria has gotten so over the top that even Bill Maher, hardly a Trump fan, called out MSNBC's Joe Scarborough for going too far. When your own allies start mocking you, that's a sign you've crossed the line from serious commentary into material better suited for a late-night comedy skit.
Because this is important. He wanted to, this week, he's suing the 12-member commission, the California Coastal Commission. He launches his rockets from Vandenberg Space Force Base. He used to call it Air Force Base, but I guess now we're into Space Force time. He wanted the proposal to expand the number of launches. Okay, again, one of the most impressive companies, an American company. He wants a little more, give it to him. No. The commission, some bureaucrat, said, nope, and this is the reason why. Commissioner Carol Hart saying, we're dealing with a company, the head of which has aggressively injected himself into the presidential race and made it clear what his point of view is. Yes, because he lives in America.
The Democrats. Double standard is enough to turn anyone's stomach. Take Elon Musk, arguably the face of modern innovation. He's reshaped the auto industry with electric cars, reignited America's role in the space race with reusable rockets, and pushed into frontiers like AI and brain-computer tech that sound ripped from a sci-fi novel. He's not working for Democrats or Republicans, he's working for humanity. Yet the moment his views drifted from the Democratic script, he suddenly became public enemy number one. Enter the Federal Aviation Administration, a swamp of career bureaucrats who seem more nostalgic for old campaign posters than interested in progress. Musk seeks approval to launch rockets that strengthen America's technological edge. What does he get? Delays, red tape, and flimsy objections. Not because he violated rules, but because he violated orthodoxy. His crime wasn't breaking regulations. It was daring to think independently. Even Bill Maher, conservative by any stretch, called out the nonsense, pointing out the obvious. Musk is an American, and like any entrepreneur, he has every right to pursue progress without a political gag order. Which brings us to the real question. Why did Musk, once a loyal Democrat, walk away? The answer is simple. The self-proclaimed party of science abandoned science. It traded discovery for dogma, innovation for ideology, and embraced wokeness, censorship, and cancel culture over real progress. And if there's one thing Elon Musk has never tolerated, it's being put on a leash.
Thinks that the left is in a very different place with free speech than they have been before, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. This is arrogant. You don't punish somebody. It would be like if we stopped Henry Ford from making the cars because we didn't like what
but can you take one anecdotal example? One idiot, right? Truly an idiot to stop.
This is not an idiot. This is someone with power.
An idiot with power is not unusual.
Okay, but that's...
Right. No, but having power...
And once again, Bill Maher has a point. The left isn't just stumbling when it comes to free speech. Chits sprinting headfirst down a dangerous slope. What started as concern has morphed into outright authoritarianism, with an obsession over censoring, controlling, and policing words. Debate, unwelcome, disagreement, intolerable. What they demand is submission. That's why Elon Musk sits squarely. At the top of their target list, he's not just another billionaire. He's the billionaire who refused to bow. The man who bought Twitter and tore the megaphone from their hands, breaking apart the narrative monopoly they'd built. The irony couldn't be clearer. For decades, the right was accused of being hostile to free speech. Yet today, it's the so-called progressives who are enforcing the harshest speech restrictions of all. The founding fathers, who fought tyranny and government overreach, would be horrified to see activists on American soil championing the very censorship this nation was created to resist. Silencing dissent isn't democracy, it's rot. And when even Bill Maher, a lifelong liberal, raises the alarm, it's a flashing neon sign that the left has veered far past the line of reason. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Sometimes which is coming from everybody. It's, no one has a monopoly on it. Or just power.
It's just power. Monopoly on it. Come on. That's some moral relativism right there.
I said nobody has a monopoly.
You said nobody has a monopoly on it, but that's like saying nobody has a monopoly on being a billionaire. He's got that monopoly up here. I mean, he's got more money than us. A lot more money than us. So,
I don't get the...
Exactly. I'm still trying to figure out what Joe Scarborough's point was, if there even was one. But honestly, am I surprised? Not at all. That's the woke left's go-to move. Talk in circles. Toss around some lofty words, and hope nobody notices the contradictions. So Scarborough, MSNBC's self-styled serious thinker, declares that the right has a monopoly on misinformation. Really, when Bill Maher pressed him for proof, his big example was Mark Cuban. Yes, the billionaire sitting on the panel. As if having a fat bank account suddenly makes you the oracle of truth. America has billionaires stacked higher than fantasy football rosters. And last time I checked, wealth doesn't come with a fact-check badge. Like Maher. I had no idea what Scarborough's actual argument was supposed to be. Here's the truth. Misinformation isn't partisan. Both sides have spread it, and every media outlet has its mess. No ideology owns honesty. But Scarborough's shtick is pretending his side is some cathedral of truth, while the other is just a swamp of lies. That's not just wrong, it's peak hypocrisy, dressed up as intellectual sophistication.
It's both sides, isn't it?
Well,
there is no doubt.
There's no misinformation.
There's some disinformation from the left, but comparing it to what Donald Trump spews out every day, every week, comparing it to what Elon Musk is spewing out, unfortunately, on X, you sound like Brett Stevens right now, with all due respect. It's a joke. That's a real time.
And you sound like him, who looks like Rachel Maddow.
This is hypocrisy at its finest. MSNBC, the self-declared beacon of truth, wants you to believe Donald Trump and Elon Musk hold the patent on misinformation. Because naturally, the woke media never bends the truth right. Let's hit rewind. Remember Hunter Biden's laptop? They swore up and down it was Russian disinformation, parroting the line so often it sounded like they were reading from an FBI teleprompter. Then the truth surfaced. It was real. By then, the damage was done, the story buried. Or take the Steele dossier, treated like sacred scripture of Trump-Russia collusion. Entire primetime blocks were built on it, only for it to collapse under its own nonsense. Apologies. None. They just flipped the page and kept talking. And what about the COVID lab leak theory? For months, it was mocked, smeared, and written off as a fringe conspiracian, till the intelligence community quietly admitted it might deserve serious consideration. Suddenly, MSNBC had collective amnesia, yet here they are, wagging their finger at America, insisting Trump and Musk alone are the engines of disinformation. Spare me. This network has its own encyclopedia of falsehoods, each chapter conveniently erased the moment it falls apart. And right on cue, another MSNBC voice, John Heilemann, regurgitated the same tired narrative, only to get torched by Russell Brand for the double standards. If you got something out of this breakdown, hit like, tap subscribe, and stay tuned here at Nick Spotlight for more unfiltered truth.